What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my DraftKings Showdown breakdown between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to my sim results throughout the day if news breaks. And let me know in the comments section who are your favorite options at captain and utility. Ravens are 3.5-point favorites, 54-point total. This sim averaged 167.6 fantasy points. You averaged $49,200 spent in salary, and just a shading to Baltimore. 3.1 players from Baltimore, 2.9 from the Chiefs. That said, it's time to dive into the captains. All right, right off the bat, there are three guys that immediately stand out. Two I like better than the others. Lamar Jackson is lapping the field in terms of odds of being the top captain. 28%. That is basically double Pat Mahomes at 14.2. So Lamar is definitely my favorite overall captain option. Where his ownership ends up coming in will dictate how much I actually like him or don't like him, but he is the clear top option. Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 11.7 I like a little bit better than Mahomes. Gives you that additional savings, lets you pay up a little bit more at the utility spot. They're both the optimal captain in a similar amount of time, so I'd rather take the savings. One of Kelsey, Hill, Brown, and Andrews, they're all 9-ish% to be the top captain. One of those guys is going to pick up a bit too much ownership. One will pick up not enough. Go to the guy that picks up not enough, fade the guy that picks up too much. They all look pretty similar in that range. Now, if you're looking for options at utility, I think there's one place to start, and it's not where everybody else is starting, or at least I assume it won't be where they're starting. $3,400 Miles Boykin shows up in the optimal lineup 37% of the time. I have him projected for 8.8 fantasy points. That is way too cheap of a price tag for him, especially on a day where there's so many dudes to pay up for. Miles Boykin is one of my favorite utility options, quite possibly my favorite. It makes me nervous. Paying attention to his ownership will be key. If he becomes chalk, it's way less appealing, but Boykin's the guy you need if you want to pay up. If you're going the other direction, I slightly prefer Mark Andrews to Marquise Brown. Shows up in the optimal just a hair more. You also get that $400 savings, but honestly, those guys are close to a coin flip. Similar story for Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I slightly prefer Hill because he's cheaper, $800 savings. Shows up in the utility spot a little bit more. Either one of those guys works, and if anybody pulls way too much or too little ownership, that should help dictate your decisions. But for now, it's a lean towards Andrews and Hill over Brown and Kelce. But I've got one last sneaky play. It's not listed on the screen. Well, it's not listed in the text. Look at the graphic. Go to the bottom. $800 Nick Boyle, projected for 4.2 fantasy points. Shows up in the optimal lineup at utility 15% of the time. You have so much salary left over going to Nick Boyle that you can get the double Jackson Mahomes lineup with even more talent at the top. There are going to be times where you need Jackson and Mahomes and you need to hit a ridiculous punt. Nick Boyle at $800 looks like your best option. If you're trying to get weird, go to Boyle. If his ownership ends up projected for north of 15%, feel free to get away from it. If he goes largely unowned, get weird with me and Nick Boyle. Alrighty, and finally, my top fades, and honestly, this first one I'm not even super comfortable with. It's Travis Kelce. I just think that he's a bit too expensive relative to Jackson and Mahomes, and everybody else is too far below him, so he's kind of in no man's land for me. His odds look good, 10% of being the captain, 31 for being the utility. I just think that he's going to pick up more ownership than he probably deserves given his salary. This is not a play against Travis Kelce, the player. It is a play against Travis Kelce's price. Now, J.K. Dobbins, on the other hand, this is a play against J.K. Dobbins. The projection doesn't look anywhere near his price tag. 5,600 in the utility spot only has him showing up in the optimal utility 17% of the time. You can get better value at guys below him like Sammy Watkins, Willie Snead, Justin Tucker, Harrison Butker, obviously Miles Boykin, Demarcus Robinson. I'm just not interested in going to Dobbins. He is way too expensive for the optimal outcomes you can get from him. Just skip it. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my top plays for tonight's showdown game between the Chiefs and the Ravens. One last time, please, please, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, and follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to this list. It's going to be really important once ownership comes out. I also have a FanDuel video that I'm going to try to link up here right now. If you want to go check that out, if you're playing on both sites, similar format if you haven't seen it. Dropped my first one yesterday. That'll do it for this Monday Night Football breakdown. Cannot wait to watch this game. I will be back with 2 more videos for showdown slates on Thursday of next week. Best of luck. I'll talk to you then.